Double mic. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's kind of helped my family. Dave Fisher, all the questions we've had since he notified me of the event a few months ago. I have a lot of questions. I'm married to a planner, but I had to make sure to give the planner all the information. It's still crazy for me to think that I'm getting recognized for just playing a game that I love to play. So thank you to the selection committee for this incredible honor, and congratulations to all the award winners. It's been great to know your story and hear a little bit more about it the last few days. It's incredibly humbling to be recognized at the same event as Jack Blatherwick. I first met Jack when I was 15 years old. It was also the first summer my parents let me skate in the off-season. It's not surprising that there are so many people here to support you. You've had and impacted so many people, including me. I know when they told me you were getting an award, I had to confirm a couple times that you were actually going to accept it and be here. You never want any credit, Jack. You wrote me a 5-page letter and mailed it to me after one of my summers of training in high school. I still have it. It's not full of all compliments. You were honest and sincere, and you challenged me to think outside the box, find ways to be creative and be better. But the most important lesson that you taught me over the many summers was that it needs to be fun, that hockey doesn't always need scoreboards, we don't need to keep stats, and we don't need to skate multiple times a day, that it isn't always about winning and losing games, but challenging ourselves to be better. I hope you know that those lessons that you have stuck with me and Johnny, and we are doing our very best to carry on your legacy and pass the values you instilled in us to the next generation. I grew up playing every sport you could think of, but hockey was the game I loved to play. I have special memories growing up in Brooklyn Park on those outdoor rinks. I spent countless hours and enjoyed every minute of it. But the greatest thing about hockey was not winning championships or medals, but the people I got to meet along the way. My youth hockey experience consisted of playing on boys' teams, and I had an incredible group of not only friends, but incredible families. I remember playing knee hockey at the out-of-town tournaments, or after practice, heading back out to the outdoor rink to play a pickup game under the lights. It was those teammates that made it memorable, and I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for treating me so well. Although I wasn't able to play on a girls' team in youth hockey, by the time I was in high school, the girls' game was starting to take off in Minnesota. I was fortunate to play at Park Center High School my last 2 years, and I had a fantastic experience. The bus rides to and from games, singing the school song, or the big win at the state tournament in the Coliseum, and hanging out after those games. That's what made my time in high school so memorable, and I'm thankful for all those memories I've made in hockey. When I was a young kid, my one real hockey goal was that I wanted to play at the University of Minnesota, and I wanted to be a Golden Gopher. People would tell me they don't have a women's team, and I remember telling them, well, then I'll just play on the men's team. Yeah. Luckily for me, God's timing was perfect, and as I was entering high school, the Gophers team got a women's team. And playing at the U was some of my favorite times playing hockey. After being away from home for 2 years with the Olympic team, it made coming back home, close to my family and friends, even more special. Although I only played 3 years, I was fortunate to play for Laura Halderson and Brad Frost, who you saw on the video. Coach Halderson, playing for you is more than just about hockey. You cared for every player you ever coached equally. You cared for us as people first and hockey players second. I still get a birthday email from her every year, and when I see her, she asks me about my kids and how my parents are doing. I was proud to play for you, Coach. Frosty, thank you for being patient with a kid who made "this is what we don't want to do" during team video every week. You taught me to be accountable all over the ice, and you pushed me to be a better player. And you knew how to keep the game fun to play. I dreamed of playing hockey for the Gophers, but what I walked away with was friendships and everyday laughs. To all my Gopher teammates, every single one of you have had an impact on my life for the better, and I am so grateful to have shared those experiences with you. From studying hours at Bierman to constant laughs on road trips or being out on campus, being a part of those teams on and off the ice was incredibly special to me. It's crazy to think that my journey in USA hockey began in high school and it continued until after college. I remember my first camp and being absolutely terrified to fly out to Lake Placid, New York. It didn't take long for friendships to be made with those that had had a similar journey to me to get there. Playing in the Olympics was never why I started playing hockey, but I am beyond blessed to have had that opportunity. Coach Smith, Ben Smith, was my coach in both 02 and 06. And I just want to say thank you to Coach for taking a chance and believing in a young kid who was absolutely terrified to be away from home, giving me a chance to wear the USA jersey. Even though I dodged way more shots than I blocked, I barely made those 6 a.m. runs in Lake Placid in the blizzards of New York, and I probably turned the puck over way more times than you preferred. I always knew that you believed in me as a hockey player, and I never doubted that you cared about me as a person, and I feel very lucky to say that. Thank you, Coach. Nine years for playing with Team USA, I got the chance to play with a lot of teammates that were even better people. When I think of the word captain, I think of Cammy Granado. Cam, you were unselfish, and you always thought of others first, and you made everyone feel important. I enjoyed being your line mate, and I'm thankful I got to learn from the very best in the game. I think of Winnie Brote. We packed up, and we were going to move to Lake Placid after I graduated from high school. We packed her car up. We left, and about 30 minutes into it, we realized we were going west. I can't believe we actually made it. That was before Google Maps and anything on our phone, so little map quest on a piece of paper, and we headed out, but we made it. I can still hear Katie King's laugh from across the room, or a song that comes on that takes me back to a city, a hotel, or a rink with teammates before and after games. I'm so incredibly thankful that I was surrounded by great people. Natalie Darwitz, who I consider to be a great friend, I had the privilege to play with on almost every team. Dar, you were as special as a player as there ever was. You had a quiet confidence as you would effortlessly skate past everybody, and it was effortless. I learned as much from you on the bench as I did from any coach. You were always 2 steps ahead of everyone, and I couldn't have picked a better teammate, line mate, or incredible person. Not only was I surrounded by wonderful teammates, but God blessed me with the most incredible family who is here tonight. My sister Kara was in kindergarten when I graduated high school and left to Lake Placid to train. You got dragged around the world to a million different rinks, and you never complained. You bring the fun, and you still do, everywhere you go. My parents said that God made that 12-year gap between us because they had all they could handle with my older brother, Eric, and I, constantly competing with each other at everything. Who got in the car first, playing basketball or wiffle ball in the backyard or tennis in the park? It's hard to argue that most games we played did not end well. Just to clarify, I was not the one who broke Grandma's china dishes. Eric, you let me tag along with you to your buddies everywhere. The only rule was no crying, and you better keep up. You made sure I was never the last pick, and if I ever doubted myself, you were the first person to have my back and give me the confidence to do it. And I'm certain I would not be standing up here if you weren't my brother. So thank you. Mom and Dad, when I begged to play hockey at 5 years old, you signed me up with no dreams of me playing in college or playing in the Olympics. It was never about how good I could be or earning a college scholarship. Because when I started playing, there was no high school girls team to play on, no college scholarship to get, and no women's hockey in the Olympics. It was about letting me play a game that gave me incredible happiness and put a smile on my face. You never told me to practice more or how to play. Dad, you'd buy me ice cream after every game, regardless of how I played or if I scored any goals. I just had to eat my dinner and not tell Mom. Mom, you never grew up with sports. You played piano at church and taught Sunday school, but you figured out how to tie skates. You brought meals to us at the outdoor rinks so that we could skate for hours, and you never complained about all the stinky gear, and you showed up with a smile. So thank you. I am most thankful to my parents for teaching me to lean on my faith in God, to be thankful for the blessings I was given, to pray in difficult times, and trust that God always had a plan for me. I got married to my husband, Johnny, a few months after the 2007 World Championships. We had 3 kids in the next 4 years. So most people up here thanking their spouse for supporting their career. I can thank mine for ending mine. And I can empathize with some of those wives after we got married, he was still playing, so I was on the other end of that phone call when he got home from those road trips with the kids. Joking aside, I was ready to move on from hockey. You have given me the next chapter of my life. You've given me more than I ever thought was possible, and I'm beyond thankful to be married to my best friend. So thank you. I will always have a passion for the game, but being a wife and a mom to our 3 amazing daughters is a joy like no other. Emily, Anna, and Lucy, who aren't here tonight, but they did send a text message to my sister, and they asked for a picture of Jack so they can put a picture with this guy that Johnny and I talk about. To my girls, I hope you know how much Dad and I love you, and I hope you never lose your faith that God has a wonderful plan for each of your lives. I am forever thankful that He entrusted me to be your mom. Again, thank you to everyone who came tonight. I have been blessed beyond measure with the special people that have filled my life, and I will forever be grateful for the opportunities the game of hockey has given to me. So thank you all.